Guys, Martialinsight here, making picks and predictions for UFC 299. Starting off with the first fight of the card, Joanne versus Marina Moraes. So, this one is a rematch. The first fight was, I think, 9 years ago, and Marina Moraes submitted Joanne Wood in like 1.5 minute via armbar submission. Wood is now 38 years old on a downwards trajectory, and yeah, she's most likely retiring after this fight. And then we got Marina Moraes. Back then she was 23, now she's 32. I think she's entering her best years. And let's see. Based on tape and research, I noticed that Marina Moraes, she got awful entries on the double leg and single leg takedowns. Her clinch is really good. I think strong clinch, good work from there, good trips. She's relentless once she gets it on the ground. She got some nasty elbows shown against Myra Bueno Silva, and she got pretty relentless submission approach once she felt like she got an advantage as shown against Agapova. I'm not sure her first name, but yeah, Agapova. And I think her transitions on the ground are pretty fluent. Really good armbar. Her striking, although she got a boxing background, it's really hard to see sometimes. She fights the air a lot. She doesn't really hit her target. Yeah, but she will use her boxing to pressure Wood up against the fence and use the clinch and work some grappling from there. Also, what I noticed from Joanne Wood, she backs up easily against the fence. She really wants to work on the outside. I mean, she got some movement to the sides, but she can also easily get backed up in a straight line if you just do it fast enough. She got no clue what she does on the ground. She got no grappling at all. I don't know how you can go this many years in the UFC and still don't know how to do any grappling at all. But yeah, I think she got much better striking than Moraes, though. She actually lands her strikes and she's a bit more methodical in her striking, so I like that. My prediction is Marina Moraes to submit Joanne Wood again in the first round. It's not really a big surprise there, to be fair. Yeah, CJvagaro versus Azu Almabayev. Almabayev, I'm very high on this guy. He's really good. Entering his best years. He's now 30 years old. Uh, and yeah, I think he's great, man. He got great entries on his double legs and single legs. He does it like where he gets a hold of you and then he turns you around and trips you so you fall out of balance. It's very good. And he's very active on top. He got a great understanding of getting the submissions, especially the rear naked choke. He's very fast with it and explosive in the submission attempts, which makes it hard for his opponents to really, yeah, defend it well. And I also think his striking is pretty good. It's not well beater striking, but it's pretty good. He got a fast spinning wheel kick, which we saw CJvagaro getting hit repeatedly by Daniel Lacerda, so probably he can do the same thing here. So maybe he could knock out CJ, but CJ is pretty tough, so I'm not sure. But let's see about that. I think he could, Almabayev could hurt CJ on the field. I don't really think CJ got much of a chance here. I don't think at all he can grapple with Almabayev. And even the striking probably edge Almabayev, I'm not sure. CJ is pretty tough though, he's pretty good at surviving, so I lean Almabayev by finish, but CJ maybe he could survive, I'm not sure. On to the next one, where we got Oh yeah, RIS The Spine versus just Parisian. So my notes for this one, I noticed that the Spain, of course, he's extremely athletic for his size. He's huge, 87-inch reach. What the fuck is that, man? That's crazy. He's 6'7". He's a freak of nature. He's big and strong, pretty fast for his size. So yeah, but he's very untested. Shitty competition he has faced, and most got knocked out in seconds against him. He has only fought one fighter with one pro win. Everyone else he has faced was making their pro MMA debut, so that's really shitty competition. You can't really tell how good he is based on those type of fighters. We don't know how he is when he's facing someone who will just resist and not just get knocked out in seconds. So yeah, just Parisian. I'm not sure he's the guy, but he's a shit fighter. But I think he's really fairly durable and gritty. He will fight through stuff and try to win the fight. And maybe he got a grappling advantage here. We haven't really seen the Spain grappling, and he only started doing MMA in 2019. He's a bronze medalist in Taekwondo, so that's a striking background. So we haven't really seen any grappling from him. Yeah, maybe Parisian wins, maybe the Spine wins. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna pick the Spine mostly just because I think Parisian is just not good enough to win this fight. But I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think the value is all over just Parisian in this, but man, he could grapple. Either he gets knocked out in less than a minute, and the Spain looks like a -1000 favorite, or Parisian will grapple a lot and make the Spain look like a fraud. So yeah, that's my take on this one. Phillips versus Ian Cutelaba. Pretty easy one to break down, in my opinion. Cutelaba, fast starter, a lot of power, explosive, good wrestling, bad submission, defense, bad defense in general. Much more athletic and stronger than Lins, I think. Then we got Lins. He's 38 years old. I think he's pretty chinny. He got some submissions, 4 submissions, some guillotine chokes, so maybe he could submit Cutelaba if Cutelaba is stupid, I don't know. Lins in his last 3 fights has fought Maxim Grishin, old as hell, slow, shitty fight. Then OSP, old, should have been retired. He was so slow, he just got walked down. Marcin Pragno, no power. Yeah, he just grappled his way to a win there against Pragno. And yeah, before that, he got knocked out by Tanabosa, and that's a fight I really emphasize in this matchup. I think that's where Cutelaba maybe had the advantage. I think with his style, a lot of power, explosiveness, I think he can knock out Lins in the first round. But I really think it ends in the first round, either Lins by submission if Cutelaba makes a mistake, or Cutelaba knocks him out. So yeah, my pick is Ian Cutelaba by first round knockout. On to the next one, Michel Pereira versus Mikhail Oleksiejczyk, I think. I'm not sure I pronounced that correctly, but Pereira, solid footwork. He's better technical kickboxer, but he does some stupid shit at times that can make him gas out for no reason. Oleksiejczyk, pressure boxer with bad striking defense, but he's very tough. Oleksiejczyk also got very bad grappling defense, in my opinion. He could probably get submitted by Pereira if Pereira would like go for enough takedowns to win this one via submission. But besides that, I think Also in the striking, I favor Pereira a bit more. I think his performance against Ponzinibbio was a really good one. So yeah, I think he can use his range and then win by submission or decision against Michal Oleksiejczyk. Now on to the next one, we got Pedro Munoz versus Kyler Phillips. Okay, so I think Munoz is a really good underdog pick and bet for this card. Munoz has never been dropped once in his career. I think it's like in 20 UFC fights or something ridiculous. He's really good at moving in and out, understanding range, rolling with punches, and even if you get hit, even if he gets hit, he will take the punch really well. So yeah, a lot of power in his hooks. He got good leg kicks, good takedown defense, really good guillotine choke. We got Kyler Phillips, good range, understand. He understands range really well. He got a pretty significant reach advantage here, 7 inches, and maybe he can use that to his advantage. But I think he goes a bit too hard in the first round. I don't think he can use his wrestling here with much success. And yeah, I think he needs to try to outstrike Pedro Munoz here, and I don't think he can knock out Munoz. So I think maybe Phillips wins the first round, but I think Munoz takes over from there and wins round 2 and 3. I think the pressure and leg kicks, hooks on the inside will be too much for Kyler Phillips. So we got Mateusz Gamrot versus Rafael dos Anjos, and this fight easily it's gonna be a grappling heavy matchup. My problem for Rafael dos Anjos here is he's moving down to lightweight again, and he's 39 years old. That could give him a lot of trouble. Yeah, I don't think it's good to move down a weight class when you're this old. It only gives trouble. Maybe his durability, cardio will be really bad there, and maybe Mateusz Gamrot gets a finish where he's like breaking Rafael dos Anjos. I wouldn't be surprised at this point. If it was welterweight, then I don't think Gamrot at all could finish RDA, but there's a possibility with this fight being at lightweight. Yeah, I think Gamrot's cardio wrestling advantage is too much. He got too much of an upside. I actually think his striking is not as bad as people say it is. So yeah, RDA, legend of the game, but I don't think he can compete here. His performance against Chiesa and other grapplers, like he's against Luke, last one, he got taken down 8 times. Not a good performance. So yeah, I think Gamrot probably by decision, maybe a round 3 finish. Yes, and now we got women's MMA fight. Katlyn Chimera, also known as Serminara, also known as Shukagan. Just like to call her Shukagan because it's easier to remember. And she's facing Maycee Barber. Okay, Maycee Barber turning almost 26 years old soon, and Katlyn, 35 years old. She's saying in her interviews that she's struggling with her fertility. I think that could mess with her mind and maybe her focus on the MMA game. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm not really sure, but it probably has an impact on her focus, on her training and preparations for the fight. I think Barber hits harder. She lands the more significant strikes, like with more power. They count for more on the judges' scorecards. I think her wrestling upside is there, and I think striking, pure striking, I think Katlyn is better, but that's technically speaking. I think Barber will use her youth. She will use her wrestling. She will use her hooks on the inside, and the judges will favor that more. Maybe we could see a finish from Barber. Maybe she could get Catelyn down, ground and pound her, and finish her that way. That could be a possibility. And I'm gonna pick Macy Barber by KO, TKO, or decision. Now we go on to, I think it's Blades versus Jason Almeida. It is. So, when this fight just first announced, everyone was picking Almeida. I saw he was a 2-1 favorite, and now he's the underdog. I see on the live odds. It doesn't show on Typology, but he is, I think, and that's crazy to me. I think, yeah, the narrative with if Blades can defend the takedowns, then I think he could probably win the striking exchanges. But I think Blades, he's a great guy and all that, but I think he got some mental problems in the cage at times against the higher level competition, and I think that could be the case here too against Jason Almeida. I think Almeida more explosive, and he seems like the more dominant fighter in there. I think he could break Blades in there mentally. I'm not sure he can finish Blades, but maybe he couldn't even finish Lewis, so at least he showed he could go 25 minutes, but that was shit. That he couldn't finish, but it was good sign that he could go 25 minutes and completely dominate Lewis, so take it as it is, but I'm picking Jason Almeida in this spot. Now we got Pereira versus Yadong Song. Extremely excited for this one. Jan, you gotta win. Please win. I beg you, man. I'm worried this could be another split decision loss for Jan. I think with Jan starting slow, he hasn't seemed to change that, and I think Song could easily win the first round. Then we go, and then I think Jan will probably win the third round because he's always really good at round. So it comes down to the second round, and I think that could be close. I hope Jan doesn't get robbed by the judges, but I really think he could, because I think Song, he has been gifted some decisions in his career, like the outcome with him and Stamen being a draw. Terrible decision from the judges. Stamen clearly won against Song, and Marlon Vera clearly won against Song, and they gave Song the fight too. So I wouldn't be shocked if Song wins this fight, where the judges gives him it, but it's probably gonna be close, so you can't really call robbery. It sucks. I hope, I'm a bit biased on this one, and I hope Pereira wins a decision. I'm really confident it goes to a decision. Both guys really tough, extremely tough actually. Song, he can get head kicked and he doesn't care, and Pereira very tight defense. So yeah. Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena. Okay, so I did my tape, and I noticed, holy shit, Jack Della got really bad grappling, but the problem I had with Burns when I watched tape is that he sometimes just doesn't wrestle enough and grapple enough when he should be. Like the whole second round against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he almost didn't grapple until like 30 seconds left. What the fuck is that? And the same he did against Masvidal one of the rounds. Like, bro, you should be grappling all the time when you're facing strikers. Just do it and get the submissions, man. Jack Della can put himself in a bad situation where he could get arm triangle choke. That could be the case here, but with Burns not grappling enough for my liking, then I think Jack Della wins by probably knockout. Burns is still tough, but Jack probably got one of the heaviest hands in the division and best boxing. So yeah, Iron Chin too. So I'm picking Jack Della via KO TKO. Now we got Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page. So it's easy for me to say. I think Michael Venom Page got better technical striking than Kevin Holland, but they both showboat and they're not really too serious about winning sometimes. So I think it's gonna be a weird fight where they just emote on each other, and I can't really be confident on either side. But I'm picking Michael Venom Page. Dustin Poria versus Benoit Saint-Denis. I think this is a really bad matchup for Dustin Poirier, but we don't know how good Benoit Saint-Denis' cardio is. I think it's pretty good. I mean, he landed like 100 significant strikes in 2 rounds against Thiago Moises, so it must be pretty good. He most likely has had staph infection from the pictures I've seen on the internet, so that's something to keep in mind. Dustin Poirier, he just doesn't have good enough wrestling, I think, to keep this fight standing. In the striking, he's quite a lot better, I think, and quite a lot actually, yeah. And Benoit is pretty hittable in the striking too, but I think it comes down to if Saint Denis got the cardio to just keep wrestling and maybe finish Poirier, and if he doesn't, then I think Poirier can start to defend the takedowns if Saint Denis is tired, and then he can put it on him. So my pick is Benoit Saint Denis, but yeah, be careful. It's a big step up in competition. So, and then we got the main event: Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera, and I'm picking Marlon Chito Vera, and it's not confidently, but I think it's for some reasons. I think O'Malley really can lose rounds on getting just purely leg kicked. I think technically speaking, movement, speed, shot selection, with O'Malley mixing it up, he's more elusive with his striking. I think he's much better than Vera there. He's much faster, and but the problem here for O'Malley is the legs, and I don't think it's harsh to say that his legs looks fragile. I mean, he got. We need to go way back, but like I think in one of his first fights, he got leg kicked so much that he couldn't stand his legs, and Marlon landed on his with leg kick in their first fight, and then O'Malley leg completely shut down. If it was a nerve, then yeah, it's a really unfortunate way of losing. But I think O'Malley is a bit fragile there. He also came in to his last fight with a injury. At least he said that, and I think Marlon could make this fight close. He lands more powerful strikes, in my opinion. His leg kicks, knee stumps, forward pressure. I think he could make it close, and I think he edges it on the scorecards to win via decision. And that's it. My most confident picks on the card is Almabayev and Mateusz Gamrot. And my underdogs for this card, I think my most confident underdog is Pedro Munhoz. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for your time.